What's poppin' T Squad? It's me, Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3 Episode 2 review. I drop videos Monday through Sunday. Everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken seriously or literally, meaning my jokes. So if that works for you, let's get into this review. So part 2, or episode 2, starts off where we left off with Heather planning to win back the women because she's on the outs now, because she came in hot doing a little bit too much, and she's kind of like the awkward girl that's trying so hard to fit in that no matter what she does, she just making the situation worse. Candiace is going to take the ladies to see a Lady Boys show. This is her night to plan an event. And Marisol in her confession was like, I'm not feeling good because my belly is huge. It's so uncomfortable. Once again, she's just been drinking. Still has not drank any water. And she wondered why her stomach hurt because once again, you got a boo-boo. You got a boo-boo and it's stuck in your stomach, ma'am. It's stuck. And you're constipated. And you have a bellyache. Girl. Oh, Lord. So Leah and Alexia talk about Herman on the way to the ladies going to an elephant sanctuary. And Alexia explains, that she found out that her husband was gay. But she said something on the bus ride. She said, I knew he was bisexual. So I was like, oh, so you went into the relationship knowing that he was bisexual, but I guess she never thought he was going to go back to men or something when they were together. Is that, that's how I took it. So I was like, you couldn't have been that surprised then when you found out that he was dating other men if you knew he was bisexual. Because she said, I always knew he was bisexual. So all of this playing the victim stuff about the Herman situation and saying that Adriana outed him and all of this stuff, like, girl, Alexia is full of crap. So in her confessional, she says, I feel that Adriana used my pain to secure a place on the show because she's just a friend. She did not need that one line talking about Herman to secure no spot on no show because Adriana is the show. She been in the show from season 1 of Miami. She has done way too much other stuff that ain't nobody even think about that little bull crap that she said last season about Herman. Like, girl, stop trying to make excuses for people not to like Adriana because Adriana calls you out on your crap. I wish Adriana would have been on this trip. Ooh, put her on put next girls trip season 5 because season 4 is already filmed. Season 5, if they get a season 5, put Adriana on a girls trip. I would love to see her, toss it up with some of the other ladies. So the girls have lunch after doing the elephant sanctuary. Let me tell you who would not have been in that muddy water with them elephants. Me. I would not have been in that nasty tail water. I know they got salmonella. The bird flu. Coronavirus, all that feces and nastiness, gross. I would have waved at them elephants from afar. They wouldn't have got me up in there. Nope. So afterwards, they go to lunch, and Leah was like, what is the best and worst thing about being a housewife? And Candiace was like, ooh, okay, I like this question. So she was like, the worst is social media. I'm pummeled like on the hourly basis. And Giselle was like, girl, you bring it on yourself. And I was like, you kind of do, your nasty disposition, some of the outlandish things that you say about your co-stars, things that have come out about you in the past, saying, derogatory things about gay people. Like, you've had a lot that you brought upon yourself, Candiace. So I can't feel sorry for her because people come at her on social media. And then you're on this show talking about, just because you respond to crusty people, you respond and da-da-da. And I'm like, and then you wonder why people come at you crazy. So Marisol admits that she was ashamed of Mama Elsa's face when joining the Miami show because she knows how beautiful her mother used to be and how she messed up her face with all those fillers. I'm happy that she finally was honest and truthful about that, because that was something that she never really brought up the first go around. But I mean, we all kind of like knew that she was embarrassed by it, especially when you did see before photos of Mama Elsa. She was a very beautiful woman, and I wish she wouldn't have never done what she did to her face, because it just totally messed her up. And I think, you know, she had her procedures done before fillers were even what fillers are today. So just imagine what was put in her face back then. Like, oh my God. After that, Leah says production wouldn't let her leave season 13 of filming. When her grandmother passed away, they wouldn't allow her to leave to go be with her grandmother before she passed. And when she was able to leave, it was too late. And Whitney was like, I don't really believe that. Now, this is what she said in her confessional. She didn't say it at that time when Leah was talking about this, because Leah was crying. But Whitney called BS because she said they work for the same production company. And she was like, that's not true. Like, not true at all. And a part of me feels like I believe Whitney on this, because who gonna tell you can't leave to go see your grandmother who's passing away? Come on now. Come on. I wouldn't have cared if they did say I couldn't leave. This is my grandmother. This is, you know, this ain't no cat. Like, no, absolutely not. So I don't really know about that. So on the ride back to the house, Candiace says that she and Chris had their biggest fight ever before she left, where the D word came up and all types of stuff. So she already on edge and feeling some type of way, because she all the way around the world and her husband at home, they into it. So that's a lot. You know, it already be a lot when you get into it with your mate and you got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? And y'all away from each other, and, you know, things fester, feelings fester, you know. So by the time you get home, it can either make it worse or it can make it better. So Heather and Whitney end up talking one-on-one when they get back to the crib. And Whitney was like, you and Lisa didn't like each other. And I was like, Heather is my girl. I don't like her either. And Heather was like, but let's not forget that Lisa didn't like you either, and it didn't have nothing to do with me. And Whitney was like, I 1000% agree. So Heather in her confession was like, the conflict of us filming season 3 is her husband lost his job. And for the first time in her life, Whitney became the sole breadwinner, and it became a matter of life or death of her success as a housewife. So basically she's saying that when her husband lost his job, once they started filming, that Whitney then decided she was going to do and say anything that she could to keep that whatever, the snowflake or whatever that they hold in Utah. And basically, if she had to throw Heather on the bus or whatever the case may be, she was going to do that. I somewhat agree with that, because, you know, her husband ain't got no job. Her money is the only money coming in. They're already in debt from using their savings for her skincare line and everything. So she did need to make sure that the paychecks were still rolling in. But I also do still feel like her feelings are valid, with feeling like Heather was not there for her like she was for Jen. So Whitney was like, you know, I'm able to evolve and move on from that for the sake of maintaining Salt Lake City. So once again, it goes back to the show. Like, I'm willing to be cool with you again, just so, you know, we can, you know, keep ourselves on the show. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if we didn't have the show, will we even be having this conversation? So Whitney was like, you know, this isn't about the show. This is how I feel. And I think that it's both. I think that it is about the show because she needs that money. And I also think that this is how she feels because Heather does treat her differently than she does Jen. So the ladies go to the little Lady Boy show that night and have dinner and everything. And Candiace gives out Lady Boy names to the girls. And to Giselle, She says that her name is She Need a Man. Baby, that tickle me pink. So then Candiace gives Portia her name, and she was like, Portia, the rumor was the way you got with your man was a little sketchy, and the people would say you stole somebody's man. So your sister, she need a man. Yours is she'll take a man. And so Portia looking like, oh, that's what we doing? Oh, that's how we doing it? Or these type of games we playing? Okay, I see you, and I raise you 5. So Portia was like, can you take a man if he's already free? Okay, or whatever. And I'm like, whether he was free or not, what you did was shady at the end of the day, girl. And just, I would rather for you to own it. Own it. Own it. I wanted him, and I got it. I got the ring, I got the man, and who gonna stop me? And who gonna check me, boo? Instead of playing this, y'all don't know what was going on behind the scenes. People thought it was one thing, but it was really another. Girl, no, we knew exactly what it was. That's why you didn't want to come back to Real Housewives of Atlanta, because you didn't want to face the music. So the ladies then sit for dinner, and things are a little bit icy now between Portia and Candiace. And the girls asked Portia to tell the story about Simon and how they got together. So she tells the story and was like, you know, Simon and his wife at the time, Fallon, joined the show. I met him and I was thinking like, I know him from somewhere. And she was like, come to find out, I knew him before they got together. She then says, you know, they had their issues, they broke up, and she inboxed him and was like, you know, I'm praying for you. And then it went on from there. And I'm like, whether you knew him before he married Fallon or not, it don't matter, Portia. It don't matter. And now all of a sudden you met him before and you knew him before and all of this stuff. Like, girl, get out of here. Get out of here. So she says that when he was basically making it clear that he wanted to be more than friends, she was like, I need for you to email me your divorce papers, and said that he did. And they were signed, but they were still sitting on the judge's, you know, chambers table or whatever. And that the decree hadn't been signed by the judge yet, but it had been signed by them. I don't believe nothing that she's saying. You know what I'm saying? She gonna say what she needs to make herself look better for the situation. But I don't agree with what she did, and I think that she is lying to save face. So Heather in her confession was like, you know, I'm all for taking a man. I'm all for it. Marisol talking about, you know, I mean, look at her ring. It seemed like she did pretty good to me. And it's just like, that's why you low vibrational, wrinkled neck and coochie having heifers over there miserable now because of the way y'all go about life. You, Marisol, you and your wrinkled puss, and Heather over there looking like a pot roast. Girl, get out of here. Please stop. No, Heather looked like a honey baked ham. Get out of my face. So Giselle asks Alexia about Herman being gay. So Alexia starts telling a story, and Leah at the end of the table fanning herself, telling her, oh, like, I'm already heard this before. It's honestly a snooze fest. I'm so bored. Honestly, I'm so bored right now. Can you guys get drunk or something? And it's just like, okay, you bored. Shut up. Be an adult. Sit there and hush. Get on your phone. Scroll on Instagram. Count your boogers. Do something instead of being rude. So Marisol was like, she said Alexia's story is boring. And Leah was like, I never said that. Don't try to get me in a fight with her. And Marisol was like, are you serious? You just said that. Like, what? So Leah was like, Marisol, you're in a bad mood because your stomach hurts. Don't take that out on me. It's not my fault that you're drinking vodka every morning. And I was like, oh, she went there, honey. Them fighting words. She called you out, honey. She called you out on the Zan's floor, okay? And yes, there is truth to what Leah said. But at the end of the day, you were being rude and sarcastic and petty. Just because, you know, you're not feeling the story, you don't want to hear it, don't mean that the other ladies don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to ruin their time. I just feel like, once again, the white girls are just doing too much. And Giselle just being Giselle, which is messy. And I just ain't got time for none of it. I really honestly don't. But somehow, some way, this show is keeping me entertained. So overall, I'm going to give tonight's episode of Ultimate Girls Trip, I think I'm going to give episode 2 a B minus. A B minus. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode down below in the comment section, you guys. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.